All right, let's take a look then at the next point. It says possession with indefinite pronouns. All right, besides nouns, we also make indefinite pronouns possessive. Somebody's book, anybody's, anyone's guess. Okay, all right. On the next page, all right, this is important to remember on page 214. So let's look at where it says apostrophe plus S. To singular nouns and to plural nouns that don't end in S, okay? So you'll see things like child's toy. All right, now let's look at bosses, okay? Now boss is singular, so what am I going to do even though it ends in an S? All right, we do that. What does this mean? That's the plural of bosses. How does, as far as the pronunciation goes, what do you notice?
The top is the possession of.
But the pronunciation, it's the same, okay? So when you say bosses and bosses, it has the same sound, but when you see this, how many people? One. And it's a possession. When you see this, what does it mean? Two, but there's no possession, or two or more, okay? Two or more, but there's no possession, okay? All right, and again, let's see, where it says plural nouns, children's game, all right? So again, just because it's, when you do child, okay, child's toy, children, children's toy, all right? How many little people? One. How many little people?
More.
Two or more, okay. All right, then let's look at, all right, we already noticed where it says two indefinite pronouns, someone's mistake, nobody's fault. What about with abbreviations, okay? So, let's say, here we are with a phrase, the case of the FBI. Do we say that in English? No. How should we say it? Right. The FBI's case, all right? So when you have letters that stand for words, okay, then you put the apostrophe S, okay? All right, and now let's look where it says add an apostrophe alone. So now we're showing apostrophe S for possession. But what happens when the word ends in an S? Okay, so let's see what happens when the word ends in an S. So like, the club belongs to the students, right? Students, the club of the students becomes students' club. But now, what do we do to show possession?
We put the outside.
Right, good. We put the apostrophe on the outside. Do we add an S?
No.
No, because the word ends in an S. Okay? So we can't say students' club. We'll just say students' club. And you'll see, again, actresses' costumes, the Smith's house, okay? And the Joneses' daughter. So if it ends in an S, all we're going to do is put the apostrophe on the outside. But there are some exceptions. Okay. All right, let's look at, and again, these are for plural nouns. Okay? Let's take a look at the special situations. For compound nouns, don't look at the page, but what's a compound noun? What's a compound noun?
More than one.
More than one word, right? And how do we know it's more than one word? What do we do between the words?
Mother-in-law, for example.
Right, but mother-in-law, what are we doing with mother-in-law? Hyphen, okay? So anytime you have a compound noun, you're going to have a hyphen between them. So if we said, for example, mother-in-law, the cooking of the mother-in-law becomes mother-in-law's cooking. All right, so you can see some, you're not going to put it here after the first word, right? Mother's, right? No. It doesn't go here. It goes at the end. Mother-in-law's cooking, not the mother's-in-law cooking. So if you have the compound noun, which is separated by the hyphens, you're going to put the apostrophe at the last word, apostrophe S. Okay? All right. Now, what about when something is owned by two people? When two people own it together. So, for example, let's say that John and Mary have a car, all right? But they only have one car. So, if they only have one car and I want to show possession, should I, tell me which one am I going to do? Should I do this? Or should I do this?
Yeah, that's correct.
Which one? The first or second?
Second.
The second. Okay, of course we know there's and in here. Right, because this, if I would do this, it would mean there's separate ownership. So if John and Mary own it together, let's just put the apostrophe S after the second name. But, again, when two or more people own things separately, then we're going to put after each name. So John's and Mary's cars are in the driveway. Okay? But if I said John and Mary's car, now again there's only one, right? Is in the driveway. Everybody understand the difference between the two? Okay. All right. So again, you'll see the example. John and Mary's wedding is next Saturday. Are they marrying each other? Yes, because they have a joint wedding, right? But Mary's, Jones, and Barbara's husbands work for the same company. How many husbands are there in this sentence?
3.
3. Because there's Mary, Joan, and Barbara. 3 husbands.